Quick recap, in part 2 I showed how to rush the dragon, jungle routes, Rift Herald, and how to secure objectives. In part 3 of this guide, I'm going to explain how I compensate for losing a gank in 10 CS using this tactic, some counter jungling, and team fights. This is where your logic and common sense especially come into play. As you saw from the beginning, where I take their jungle buff, whether my teammates help or not, throughout the entire game I continuously take their jungle buffs so that they lose gold and XP. I get in and I get out. You don't want to stay in their jungle that long, because the longer you stay, the higher the chance that someone will come kill you. I constantly put deep wards and ping the map location telling my teammates where the enemy jungler is. I can time when the red or blue buff spawns because 1. I either stole their jungle buff already, or 2. I can watch the timings on my own jungle camps to figure it out. Not only do I know the starting position of the jungler, where he was last seen, which direction he went, what he ate, where he goes to school, where he works, where he lives, just like Facebook or the NSA spying on people. Just kidding. But I do know a lot of information on the enemy jungler just by observing the map and the routes and what they do. Most of the time, they don't ever see me coming. Eventually, some junglers start to see a pattern and predict what I'm going to do next. This is why every game I do things a little bit different. So hopefully by the time that they figure this out, they're already behind it. It's already too late for them to do anything about it. So how do I know when I can actually fight the other jungler? The thing is, with this kind of gameplay, you should never try to fight the enemy jungler because you're always playing from behind. It's really difficult to know when you screwed up the jungle enough so that you can 1v1 them. But for the most part, you should never be able to win. There are some cases where you can, like what happened here. The other jungler should have more CS than you, but sometimes I manage to have the same amount of gold, which doesn't make sense, you know. Maybe because I tend to kill more larger monsters than him, which gives me more gold, like blue, red, and frog, and he kills more smaller monsters like the birds, the krugs, so we get about the same amount of income. It can also be that I gank more lanes than him and I get assists or gold from the other lanes. I have conducted many different tests throughout the game where I take dragon versus I don't. Turns out that even though I lose 10 CS each time I take dragon, there was only a 10 to 15 CS difference at 20 minutes, which wasn't really that much of a difference. What I did find out is that my CS is heavily dictated on how well my teammates do. So I get around 100 CS in 20 minutes if my team does well, and around 50 to 60 CS if my team is failing. In other words, it means if my team does well, I'm not needed as much to gank non-stop, therefore I'm able to farm more. So comparing CS like you are laning doesn't work. It will never match up. We have to look at the levels and the items that you have instead. Team fights. After jungling and laning for team fights, you do not want to be the one who's engaging, unless you're the team's only tank and you really have to. Anyways, what you really want to do is take out the carries and peel for your ADC. Usually the carry is going to be their ADC or APC. In certain situations that would change, and you have to recognize who to save your ult for. For example, the enemy team has a Cade, Silver, or whatever, but this Yasuo, Yi, and Zhao, or whoever dashes at your ADC or something. But even if it's a tank, essentially that person or whoever has become the carry, and you have to stop them from killing everyone. Once you take out the carry and lock them down, your team should be all set. The rest is up to them to mop up and clean. At most, you can only take down 2 people. If you're alive, awesome, keep going. If your team loses a team fight and you did everything you could, most likely there's nothing you can do about it. This is why you always try to shift numbers in the favor of your team. Let's look at this for example. We all know that the enemy team will try to contest us at Baron or whatever. Team fight's about to start. The tanks already made it ahead, taking on my team. I see 2 other carries, Ashe and Lux there, and they're late to the fight. So I picked them off with a kill through the wall and surprised them by coming out of nowhere. Nobody expected this. Everyone thought I was with my team in the fight. Eventually, now my team is fighting a 4v3 and I'm locking the other 2 down for 1v2. My goal was to hold these 2 off as long as I can so my team can have the advantage and kill everyone else. Now we steamroll into their base and win. You just have to do whatever you can to win the game. What people need to understand is that it isn't always about kills, but how you can assist your team so we can all win. In the end, if you're still watching this, I know this is a long video. If you understood anything or get anything out of this guide, it doesn't matter about which jungler you choose or what diamond plat build you copy. I always see people who try to copy LCS, MLG, MSI, insert whatever esport thing here, and they always try to copy people like Double Lift, Baker, and a while back it was Swallow Turtle, and now it's fancy Lee Sin kick butt moves, and we get to watch people accidentally queue into a turret and die because they screwed up and they don't have the mechanics to back it up. I chose 5 because I felt like it. I try to adapt and build according to what I need rather than copy and paste the same items over and over again. You don't have to listen to me, bro. I'm a silver noob. I'm really bad at mechanics. That's why I chose blue spike over red and flash Q all the time because I miss my Q a lot. When you're jungling, you have to be actively thinking. Use your head, use your brain. Don't go into autopilot like everyone else does. Jungling, it's about being at the right place at the right time and what you can do to help your team succeed. Instead of blaming your teammates all the time like every other toxic person in the game, honestly, you guys are pretty bad yourselves too, you know. Sometimes people won't let me gank or make it impossible and try to waste my time. This is why I started to do things differently, like the Dragon Rush, and do all sorts of different things to give my teammates the edge. League of Legends is a team game whether we like it or not. That's what Riot wants. Some games are amazing, and some games are impossible. As a side note, I wasn't the original person who created the strategy, but I took in their ideas and made it work for myself. I literally lost half my games at the beginning trying it out, but I fixed it and made it happen. That's what you guys are gonna have to do also. Let me know down below if you like this video or if it helped a lot. Again, these kinds of videos take a long time to make, so I have to play like 100 games or something just to like learn a new champion. Also, if you guys use this tactic on me, it's not gonna work because I'm already aware of it.
I hit him, yeah.